Smear campaigns, legal heat ratcheting up on Giuliani. Donald Trump reportedly wouldn't pay Giuliani, won't pay his lawyers, and the inner circle here reportedly getting worried. Joining me now is Danya Perry, former SDNY prosecutor, and Pulitzer Prize-winning Washington Post columnist Eugene Robinson. Danya, what do you see legally in this increased pressure and the development that the DOJ has a plan to go forward with reviewing this material?
Sure. Well, we're getting deeper and deeper into uncharted territory here. There's just not a lot of precedent. As we've discussed, there are very few raids on attorneys' offices in the first instance. I think only one of a former attorney of a former president. And here you have the former United States attorney for the very office that is leading the charge here. Last time I checked, his portrait still hangs on the 8th floor in the executive suite at the U.S. Attorney's Office. So this is all a little trippy. And so the U.S. Attorney's Office is running all the bases, going through all the traps, covering all their bases. And they, I think for the first time, I haven't been able to find any other instance, are actually going out of their way and proactively asking the judge to appoint a special master. Typically, they're the ones in a defensive posture saying, no, this is not required. We can put a filter team on this. We're more than capable of doing it. Here, they're actually going through the extra step saying, because of the implications, because of the politics, frankly, we want not only this to be fair, of course they want that, but they want also, it's important also to provide the appearance of fairness. And so they are finding themselves in this interesting posture of requesting the special monitor, and we'll see what Giuliani has to say in response.
It sounds like you're saying this extra layer of review is almost the type of thing that's more in the interest of Mr. Giuliani and his client, Donald Trump. It's not for the DOJ. They're doing it just to be extra fair, so to speak?
I think that's exactly right. I think they had wind. There were public reports that Giuliani, maybe with Mr. Dershowitz or some others, were going to file their own petition or some action. And so I think they anticipated that. And so they said, we're going to put in these extra safeguards. We will request the appointment of a special master, whereas in the past, they always objected to the appointment of a special master, including in the Michael Cohen case.
Really interesting context you're giving us. You're reminding viewers that while there's similarities here, even the recent history there is different in the unique situation of Donald Trump having a lot of lawyers who seem to get into legal trouble, and that's putting it conservatively. Gene, take a listen to the way Giuliani has been trying to play this out. I mentioned that he's doing it his way. You know, call that a Sinatra style if you want, although he may have more legal problems than Sinatra, doing it his way, and doing it on Fox. Take a look at him on Hannity playing that Hunter Biden card.
Well, the hard drive was given to me because the guy didn't trust anybody else. He didn't trust the FBI because the FBI had it for almost a year and did nothing with it. They want to destroy my credibility because I have that entire hard drive. I have the whole thing. I put it out to the New York Post, and since then they have been persecuting me. They've been threatening me. They have done everything they can to destroy every business relationship I have.
Gene, in Washington, they say sometimes where you sit determines where you stand. And in America today, what you read and where you get your information may determine where you stand, because people get different versions of this online or wherever. There's a lot of talk about Hunter Biden, and if there is a legal probe there, we'll cover wherever that goes. But what do you think politically and perceptually is happening with Giuliani trying to make it look like he's on offense when legally he's clearly on defense?
I have no idea. The four words that keep coming to my mind are Four Seasons Total Landscaping. I mean, I keep thinking of this as a bizarre and self-destructive way for Giuliani to proceed, because, as you noted in your introduction, any lawyer would advise his client in Giuliani's situation to shut up. To stop talking, to leave the talking to his attorney. Rudy refuses to do that, and not only that, but the Hunter Biden line, it plays well, I'm sure, on Fox News and some other channels and some websites, but it doesn't play well, I don't think, with the Southern District of New York, and that's what he has to worry about. He has to worry about the prosecutors. He himself is in legal jeopardy, and I don't see how talking and talking and talking about extraneous things in this manner helps his cause one bit.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Danya, I mean, he has the right to criticize the process or the prosecutors. I'll defend his right to do that. There's a free society. If you want to go at the government, you can play it that way. But I think Gene's making a sound point legally and politically, which is this is really a sideshow to who controls his fate. We mentioned Michael Cohen. You mentioned the precedent there. We just spoke with him in a somewhat newsworthy interview, given he's got more insight into this than a lot of folks, including a jail stint after being Donald Trump's lawyer. Here's what he told me. Is Donald Trump scared right now?
Yes, I think he's scared. Donald Trump doesn't care about Rudy Giuliani. Donald Trump didn't care about Rudy Giuliani until Rudy was actually doing free legal work for him. So there is no loyalty between the two. Rudy will do what Rudy needs to do in order to protect himself.
Danya, your view of that unique aspect of this and whether there is something here that Rudy Giuliani may know or have done in concert with Donald Trump that somehow could be out of the purview of what would traditionally be confidential or would pose a risk to Donald Trump? Or is it possible, and I say this even though Mr. Cohen's been a guest here, is it possible that Mr. Cohen's overstating the case?
Look, Michael Cohen knows what he's talking about. He's obviously uniquely positioned. But as a general matter, there is a tremendous amount of pressure that is on any single target or subject or defendant who is in the crosshairs of the U.S. Attorney's Office. That's just a fact. They can put a world of pain on any single target. And here they have access not just to all the electronic devices that were just seized, but no doubt mountains of other evidence. So, Michael Cohen famously said that he would take a bullet for Mr. Trump, and then we all know how that ended up. So anyone can say, I certainly am not in a position to do a psychological profile of Rudy Giuliani, but it is absolutely a fact, and Michael Cohen is correct, that there's going to be a lot of pressure for him to flip, as they say, and there's no doubt will be some interest with respect to whether it's Mr. Trump, that's a big one, or anyone in that entourage. So I think the pressure will be on for sure.
Yeah, very interesting. Well, as another one of your, someone like you who was in the SDNY, Preet Bharara used to always say, stay tuned. We will certainly do that in this case and anything else going through that powerful office. Danya Perry and Gene Robinson, I want to thank both of you for kicking us off. Coming up after.